Welcome back, beautiful souls, to the channel. I'm Shika, your conscious mentor and medicine woman. Today, I'm going to be going over what you need to know about this lunar eclipse in Scorpio that is happening on May 5th, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. I am so excited to do this video. I might be biased because I am a Scorpio, but I also feel like this one is super deep. So I'm really excited and looking forward to sharing with you guys all you need to know about this lunar eclipse that's happening in Scorpio. If you're Scorpio, let me know down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bells so you don't miss a video, but also be part of the community. Hello, you want to be here, so make sure you do all those things. But also, have you got yourself a lunar planner yet? Have you got yourself a lunar planner yet? If you have not gotten one, please do yourself a favor and get one down below. I have a full eclipse survival little package in there for you, but also you get 12 months of moon shadow work prompts, rituals, mantras, and so much more. This is going to help support you on seeing the evolution of your life throughout this year working with the moon. And it's just a really great journal. You got a journal to put your manifestations in, your reminders, your downloads, everything is in there, and it's great. So get yourself one down below, $22. Get that. Last but not least, plant medicine retreats. I know some of y'all been thinking about it and you haven't yet. Why are we doing this? So go apply down below. I have 3 this year, which I'm so excited for. We have the Divine Masculine. It's happening in Canada. We also have the Activated Goddess, which is happening in Portugal. We love that, with that beautiful goddess energy. And we also have the Untold Stories, which is the Ancestral retreat that is happening down south. So if you are interested, go apply. Fill out the form. I'm currently in Bali right now doing a training, so I'm gonna see it for you guys May. So once May 5th hits, you'll start to hear my responses to the application. I'm also closing it most likely in May for the retreats. So apply, okay? Let's get into this. I'm so excited. So excited. I'm so excited. Okay, so I have a lot of notes here, guys. This one was deep, a lot of messages. So you might want to watch this a couple times, but all this to say, get comfortable because we're about to go deep into the energy of the Scorpio. So like I said, if you are Scorpio or have Scorpio placements, let me know about down below. Put a rainbow emoji and introduce yourself if it's your first time here in the community. I love to meet you new people. Let's go into it. So I pulled out some cards already. I am going to go into them. I haven't looked into it. I'm going to just go into them as I'm flowing with you. That's what Spirit wanted. So the first thing you need to know about this lunar eclipse is happening in Scorpio, May 5th, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, because it affects you during this period, is that what was the hidden truth from the last 6 months that has come into the light. So Scorpio is the energy of the mysterious, the unknown, the very highly psychic, the shadow worker, the shaman energy archetype. So a lot of the times with the Scorpio, it steps into the evolution of our death and rebirth. Now, I talked about this in the solar eclipse video. If you haven't checked that out, go watch this. They're connected. They're so connected. It will be very helpful for you, and let me know what clicks between the two. Now, the part 2 of eclipse season with this lunar eclipse in Scorpio is telling us, okay, we looked at this Aries new moon. We've had 2 Aries signs, moons, new moons, right? Fire energy. Now we are going to really balance it with the water, okay? So we looked at the igniting, the manifestations. Now we're looking at the emotions, specifically around the heart. So tuning into 6 months ago, where was your heart 6 months ago? What was happening? What was the deepest truths that maybe you've been trying to tippy toe and go around and trying to create it in a certain way, great timing for other people outside of you, but now it's like Scorpio is showing you a deeper truth. So there will be a big secret, whether it comes from you or from someone outside of your community, that is going to be told. Like, I feel like there's going to be a big truth, whether that's in your relationship. There's could be, and secrets don't mean bad, guys. I just want to share this. It's a freedom. It's a passage of freedom for your soul and anyone related. So when we tune into that, well, what I mean by secrets aren't bad, it just means that you are letting go. This isn't shaming. It's just you're allowing yourself to be free of a truth, right? That you've been holding because you have felt shameful. You haven't felt safe to share it. So here at this lunar eclipse in Scorpio that's happening on the 5th of May is stepping into what has the light shown you, what was being rebirthed, what were the shifts, what was the death in life that experienced, what were the endings that happened. Now you're starting to see them come through. You're starting to reap your rewards. You're starting to receive your karma from 6 months ago. So that's one of the biggest things. Now, one thing that came out of these cards is the truth be told. We have the owl card, opening the heart. I just see the owl opening its heart with truths. So 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, you're going to get some deep downloads of a message. This message is true. Do not second guess it. Do not go down that little stairs of yours going down into the mind. It is true. There's a reason why you're receiving this information. This information is to help you, give you permission for a new life, to give your soul a permission for that timeline I talked about in the solar eclipse video where you're matching a timeline. Now that you stepped out and went out of that past life connection, you can now know what you need to do in this life to clear it all. So the next thing you need to know about this lunar eclipse is happening in Scorpio, May 5th, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, is that we start to shed relationships and habits because we are finally accepting that they cannot get any deeper than where they are right now. It's not fun letting go of your childhood friend. It's not fun letting go of a relationship that you've been going through for so many years. But what I can tell you is it is giving you a confirmation of peace. It is giving you a space where you've been in the waiting room in these relationships. It is also giving you an opportunity with this community card to actually receive people in your life that's going to support you in your highest timeline right now. I want to just share something. The person you are right now is different from the person you were when you were your 5-year-old self connected to this childhood friend. The person you are right now is different than the person you were 10 years ago when you married your partner. Now, I'm not saying everyone needs to go and file divorce now, but what I'm trying to say is that this Scorpio lunar eclipse is saying that how willing is all parties ready to evolve and take both personal energetic responsibility of their evolution and truth, but also you are taking responsibility of your truth, right? The beauty of relationships is the fact that we can still come back to the one key thing, love, every single time. Scorpio, water energy, right? So it's like coming back to the heart, regardless of all the truths and hidden things that come through, all the trials and tribulations we go through, we choose that person to be with. And both parties have to choose, right? Because if not, then one of the parties is now sacrificing, I hate that word, but it is it's part of the energy, sacrificing their own free will, their own opportunity to create and their own truth, and it's being mudded a little bit. There's like murkiness that's there. So here it's like, how much can we accept that? How can we accept the relationships during this lunar eclipse? I do want to mention that Taurus is in retrograde still until the 15th of May, which means that we need to allow ourselves to still be in the waiting room. But what we're doing is we're getting confirmation of what we need to do after that. And you know, for some of you, the relationship will just happen in a way that spirit, like I said, the unseen is not communicating with you because they're moving things around. They might just make it a way where it becomes really easy for you to just let it go and you feel so at peace when it does happen. But this is all to just prepare yourself, to prepare emotionally what's coming up for you. So again, this is just your sign if you've been thinking of someone as I'm talking about a certain person that you need to let go in your life, or maybe there's someone that you need to have that conversation of truth with. This is your sign that it might be a really awesome, great time to start getting closer to that and knowing when that will come. And you will know in your being, you will just know. The next thing you need to know about this lunar eclipse in Scorpio, May 5th, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, is you are receiving a higher perspective of why you are feeling in the stuck emotions, death, grief, rebirth. Okay, those are the 3 words that literally define Scorpio. Death, grief, rebirth. You praise your grief, you accept the death that's going to happen in your life. I just saw a crow that is literally a sign of death. And it's flying this way, which is towards the right side, left side, which is emotions. Feminine, holy moly. So there is a death of emotions that are happening in your being that is being shed. shedded, right? And in that, you are giving yourself an opportunity to evolve and step into the evolution. So for some of you, you are still trudging through the grieving, but again, you are giving an opportunity of regeneration, which means regeneration means something. This card, when it comes out, sorry, I'm trying to refocus it. Okay, sorry. This card represents the volcano energy. So it's something from our past that is being revisited. So some of you are going to be contacted. We love one of those. Contacted by an old friend. Sorry, but I haven't been chatting with you. I've gone through life. That conversation. Or someone who's like, I thought about you and an ex. Or, you know, a family member that hasn't talked to you in years. You guys are going to get those messages 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. This is going to test you. What are you going to be in your truth? How are you going to step into your truth? How do we do that? Nonviolent communications, love. We share observation, our feelings, our needs, and our requests. 4 beautiful things for a perfect cake. So through understanding your feelings and emotions, you will then know what you need in order to create boundaries during this Scorpio lunar eclipse and full moon to allow you to then step into your truth. Okay, so it's all about that. And if that means that that person can't provide you the needs and that support in where you are and where they are respectfully, then you need to step away from that. And that's where we go into the death and grief to give you an opportunity for a new relationship. New relationship, new family, new community. Now, I love this card because the community card and there's a crow. Can we just, guys, what is up with this crow energy? If any of you crows, this is definitely for Scorpio. So with the crow, it's just representing here just this giraffe as well in this picture. You can see there's a big giraffe and a small giraffe. It doesn't matter where you are in your journey, how big or small you are, wherever you are in just your manifestation, just know that every person in your life and around your environment has a part to play. So knowing that every person is a part of being able to shape your reality. Remember I talked about shaped and shape in the last Aries new moon that happened in March? Well, we're talking about it here. So here it's going again when we had that deja vu with the Aries new moon that happened in the solar eclipse, our last one, that you are understanding that every single person has a part to play. Whether they are feeding into the insecurities of your shadow self and the wounds of your shadow self, or they are helping support you, right? What do they always say? Find someone who's doing the things that you want to do or that you are inspired to do, and be around those types of people. So my question is, are you around those types of people? If not, they're not going to come to you if you're still holding on to the relationships that are not respecting your boundaries, aligned with your highest self, and allowing you to tune into that. So again, lunar is full moon. Full moon is all about showing the truth. What's in the dark comes into the light. And this is an evolution that has been happening again for 6 months. So now you're giving this opportunity to finally dedicate yourself, commit to yourself. We have the Mirror Guardian. I love this card. This card came out again during the Aries new moon that happened in March. Take time to reflect. Okay, take time to reflect. Why are we doing this? Because we have the Lady card, enjoy growth and reaps, okay? If we can take time to reflect, we can celebrate where we are in our journey, but then we can also understand that we can take some time to understand why we had to go through the things we've done, why we had to let go of those friendships and relationships or have those uncomfortable conversations to allow ourselves to close a chapter and open a new one, which is the rebirth path. So Shaman, which is literally the energy of the Scorpio. Trust your higher forces. Okay, so remember when I talked about the last eclipse, solar eclipse, that spirit was really like not calling you on the spirit phone? Well, now you're starting to get some knowledge and they're starting to come in because now they're like, okay, now it's time to contact you. Okay, so you're going to get some deep dreams. You might get some deep knowledge. You might have a very powerful healing. This is a great time to do like healing circles with people who are aligned with those people that you are, see as your highest self alignment. Which is big, which is why I say come to the retreats, guys. Apply down below. So this is going to be really potent for you. The next thing you need to know about this lunar eclipse that's happening in Scorpio, May 5th, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. This is the time you do want to focus on positive to help you continue to commit to cutting those cords of these relationships. 2 years ago, partnerships, friendships came up, old childhood friends. This came up in my channel. So If you really want to get really zeroed into it, think about 2 years ago what partnerships and relationships you were in that are not in your life or probably aren't in a line right now. Tune into your inner child. Ask them, what is not positive about this relationship? What is not aligned in this relationship? When you can tune into that, you have now hit the jackpot, ladies and gentlemen and beings. You have literally hit the jackpot. This is where you're finding yourself into what you need to know about these habits, why you're not stepping into knowing that you are powerful and that you can step into this empowered space to receive the manifestations that you want, that this eclipse season is all about. It's about quantum new beginnings, bigger than life, bigger than ourselves. So here is a big one, 2 years ago. Look into that. That's gonna be huge. Now, I wanna say, why did I really highlight, do focus on the positive and continuing positive, is because a lot of people listen to affirmations and they do that. And it's not that I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that it has to be aligned, right? And I think one of the biggest things with this lunar eclipse is that like this is a time that you want to be surrounding yourself with positivity, and it can make a huge impact. So whether that means doing your morning and night affirmations, I have a meditation if you guys feel called and aligned to. You don't have to. There's a lot on YouTube, but there is one that I made for night and for daytime that you can listen to help you start your routine. If that feels aligned, you can do that. But really just allow yourself to continue to feed in the energy of your new self, even though that your current self doesn't have in the human form the community just yet, right? But we're constantly being in the round and round, here we go again, shall, round and round, saying that, oh, well, I can't do it now because I'm going to be alone. That's your younger self talking, right? So what part of your younger self feels scared of abandonment, loneliness, and why did you hold on to this relationship so long? Tune into your heart. It will tell you. It's going to be life-changing. Tune into your heart. It will tell you. Like, again, you are the most powerful healer for yourself. So I want to highlight that and give you guys things that you could do for yourself. Teach a man to fish. He fishes his whole life. Give him a fish, he eats one meal. Okay. So next thing you need to know about this lunar eclipse in Scorpio, May 5th, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, is Scorpio moon brings up deeper and clearer unseen messages of the human that can understand. However, ask yourself, what is the bigger perspective the unseen world is trying to show me? Okay. So this is a time where things will create some shifting, right? We're still in the between the two worlds. Time to go. You guys are going to get deep messages and where in your life you got to leave, where your soul doesn't need to entertain it anymore, right? And again, this is where we bring into the three main words: death, grief, rebirth. This is what lunar eclipse in Scorpio is all about. Death, grief, rebirth between the last 6 months, how it's been highlighted. And if you want to go into the relationships deeper, within the last 2 years, where it's being shifted. Yang. Oh my God, just do it. Do I need to go deeper into this? Yang is all about the masculine energy. So what this is telling me is you're getting clarity of what you need to do moving forward. Woo, we love that, especially after this retrograde, y'all. Like, we love that. That's the energy we love. Okay, so let's bring some of that. The next thing you need to know about this lunar eclipse and solar eclipse, lunar eclipse in Scorpio, solar eclipse. Because I recorded the other one. So lunar eclipse is that when we praise our period of grieving, we allow happiness, peace, and growth to harness. If not, we stay in a loop state. Round and round. We're going round and round. Okay. Loop state. And this moon is helping us get out of that loop state. Okay, so it's going to feel catharsis, like it's going to be physical, guys. This lunar eclipse will feel physical. It's going to feel like a lot is moving out of your energy. You're going to feel more tired around this time. Please try to sleep. You probably won't sleep really great, but that's okay. It's just that you're getting these upgrades. And they're not human explanatory. So this is where you really want to step into that. The more you can praise grief, the more that you're able to accept what is and forgive it, to give your heart permission to expand deeper, to give your heart and the waters and the emotions permission. You know, it's not worth telling yourself you're crying too much, you're doing this too much. It's like, no, this is what's meant. This is lifetimes of healing that you are shedding. Please be compassionate with yourself so you can allow yourself to grow and have spaciousness to grow as well. The next thing you need to know about this lunar eclipse in Scorpio, May 5th, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, is that there is a quantum leaps are starting to happen in the human world. So a lot of you are going to notice that it's almost going to be quite instant. As soon as you let go of those relationships, like Spirit's going to have a whole line of souls at the door that are going to want to come into your life. Okay, so the moment that you harness those truths, you're actually speeding up the relationships you need to help you with your manifestations and your success. So why don't we love that? That's great. But when a part of you that is preventing that is there's this lack of like confidence that's coming up. And I know Scorpios don't like to talk about their emotions, but part of your healing journey is all about understanding, especially if you're a Scorpio moon, is all about understanding that you are okay and you're safe to talk about your emotions, and it's not too much, and it's not that you have to be quiet all the time in the room. So you're going to notice your emotions are actually the most powerful thing for you to help you with your manifestation. And if you don't tune into that, you're blocking it, self-blocking it. Message in the bottle. Okay, so again, you guys are getting deep signs as to what new beginnings are happening and also what you need to shed. What cords need to be disconnected. It's a great time to do cord cutting around this time. I will say though, don't just do cord cutting with any video on YouTube, please. And two, also really be intentional with the cord cutting. Not every cord needs to be cut. I talked about wanting to do a video, and guys, I'll be completely honest, I'll try to do it in the next couple months for you. But right now I'm focusing on moi. So I'm doing content here, so I will do it soon. Don't you worry. Just put a little necklace emoji down below if you'd like me to do a cord cutting meditation. The next thing you need to know about this lunar eclipse in Scorpio, May 5th, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, is retrograde is in Taurus, and it's ending soon. May 15th, add that into your calendar, loves. This means that you are needing more attention, emotional support, which hence why you need to reflect on your relationships in your life. So maybe you're noticing during the Scorpio lunar eclipse, this full moon, that you're not getting the support you wanted. Taurus likes support. They love being held, right? And they're constantly being told that their needs are too much. That's the wound that comes from the Taurus. That's the wounded Taurus that projects. So no, it's not too much. When have you felt that you were too needy? Your needs were too much? Was there a relationship that told you that? This is like you're noticing, no, it wasn't. It was just that those relationships couldn't provide, and I didn't think I was worthiness to receive and manifest those types of relationships in my life. So again, it's all about understanding that the ones that were not giving, you're giving them up to get the ones that are supposed to give your soul what you're meant to have for your highest timeline. So this is really deep. Like, I think this lunar eclipse in Scorpio is really interesting because the energy of this lunar eclipse in Scorpio is really showing us that for us to have it all, we need to make sure sometimes that we need to just like tune into the energy of being of nothingness to know what we actually want. It can be hard to go through our life and emotionally detach from things when there's so much in our life that is not in alignment. And through the eclipse season, it's like this deep derooting of big things that you didn't even know you were attached to that are being released and let go of, right? And it's creating these big soul leaps that take, usually in the human world, years to shift, but the moon is giving you permission to literally do this at this time, which is amazing. Higher power. How much more do I need to say this? Higher power. Okay, there's a deep message of the higher power that's going to tell you what you need to let go of during the Scorpio lunar eclipse. And again, that's all going to help you and support you with your new life that you've been calling in. So again, remember, universe always works with you, not against you. The next thing you need to know about this lunar eclipse in Scorpio, May 5th, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, is that unleash the wild within you. Time to unleash the primal essence and rebalance you back into safeness. So speaking of letting go of that is like letting go of the truth, right? You are thinking so much in your mind how you want to end this relationship, how you want to talk about your needs, how you are wanting to establish your boundaries. You and me both know if you were talking to yourself, you would just say it. So just say it. But again, do it with love. You know, you could say, I just truly feel like our friendship is not in alignment and it's not serving both of us. And I think that this is where our friendship ends, right? It doesn't have to make it seem like you are the villain, right? And that's what happens when we are detaching from cords. We paint ourselves or the people a villain. Why is that? The moment you paint someone a villain, you become a victim to that circumstance. Do you want to deal the card of the victim? What does that mean? In our life, there's always someone in our childhood that was considered a villain. So this could have been dad, this could have been someone in your household that was considered the bad person, or the person that maybe you wouldn't ask to go out to hang out with friends or whatever may have you. That person is the archetype of the relationship and friendship that you are cutting during this lunar eclipse in Scorpio. There it is. Because it's giving you permission to let go of being a victim to life, to let go of being a victim of feeling like your needs and you cannot receive your needs fully in your relationships. Is the moment that you see that this is not a villain, that this is someone who has had pain, and this is someone who's mirroring something to you that you are getting permission to heal and let go of, right? It is so deep. It's all connected at the end of the day with this lunar eclipse. And that's why it makes it so powerful, is the full moon that's happening in Scorpio. This lunar eclipse is stepping into showing all of that, right? It's bringing deeper forgiveness. It's allowing us to cut those cords, but it's also bringing safetyness in our emotions once again that we haven't been able to connect with. And that requires not judging the emotions and how it needs to be released and dissolved. The next thing you need to know about this lunar eclipse, full moon in Scorpio, May 5th, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, is that this is a lot about our sacral chakra. So again, this is a fire in the moon. This moon has this like fiery energy, but it also has water, right? I always say for your sacral to be fully open, your heart has to be open. Your heart needs to know it can be received for your sacral to be fully creating, right? Because if it doesn't know that what it's creating can be received within itself, and you can step into that truth regardless, it's going to block that manifestation. That's deep. That's literally the sugar, the sprinkles on top of your ice cream sundae. In order for you to manifest, your heart needs to be open. You can want to create something and be so into the sacrum, vice versa. But if your heart is not open and doesn't drop that into the womb, into the sacral, into the hara, then the two places cannot work. They need to work together. They are in alignment. Right? So make sure the sacral, what are you creating? What do you need to step into? Getting into those lower chakras of safetyness. When we can do that, we can open our heart and we can drop that energy back into the sacral. So it's like, that's what it looks like energetically when someone is in a full alignment, harmonization of their manifestation. So do I feel safe in creation? How can I drop the love and my emotions into those creations? And you repeat. That's how you manifest. That's how you step into the highest timeline of yourself. So check your bleeds. Again, I talked about this in the solar eclipse. Check your bleeds. Like if you're bleeding around this time, you're very focused on manifesting your business, career, money, finances. That's what you are being called to work on and let go of. If it's new moon, it's about fertility, family, healing in that space. So again, whatever moon, even if you're not bleeding this time and you're synced with the new moon, like this is a time where you can focus on that to help with your cycle. I feel a lot of you are probably not expecting to shed at this time, and that's okay. That just means that your womb, your hara, your sacral is shedding, all of you collectively, is shedding into safetyness in relationship with, most importantly, yourself. So when you clear these cords during this lunar eclipse in Scorpio, May 5th, 2023, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, you're finally giving yourself permission to have a deeper relationship with that one wound that you've been avoiding for a long time. 2 years, 6 months. Remember, those two timelines are that's what Spirit said. 2 years, 6 months. Why? This is literally the card that came out, the why. Because you are realizing why these relationships were meant in your life to help you evolve, to help you upgrade, to help you with your new beginnings. It was never a mistake to be with that person and be in that abusive relationship. You're understanding that. It is to help you. I'm not saying that everyone needs to be abused to do that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that your soul has chosen that journey for an initiation deeper, for you to finally receive something deeper, because at a young child, at a young age, there was a lot of things that were not told and weren't spoken about. and what the Scorpio lunar eclipse is bringing the truth. A lot of you might, again, receive messages during eclipse season along with the solar eclipse. There's a deep message that's coming deep within you. And it's something that was never told in your... Right when I was channeling that, my video cut off. Should probably make sure I remove the videos after. I always have full cards because I'm channeling. And I'm like, I'm not. Okay, let me go back into it. So there is going to be some deep things. When I close my eyes, I see kind of like a family, a circle of very ancient ancestors around you. And they're all stepping forward and sharing something with you, wisdom for you. Now, as they step forward in the wisdom, it's letting you know why you've been attracted to the relationships you have in your life that now do not feel aligned, and what lesson and what karma, good karma, are they giving you for you and all those related. So for you and your ancestors through this work. Remember that all you have to focus on is this lifetime. It will automatically shift the lifetimes before. You have 2 cards, the Elder. Guys, what more do I need to share? Move beyond the ancestral patterns. So, you know, you're not the first to go through being bonded essentially by these cords of relationships that you have chosen based on thinking that's what you deserve, based on your subconscious wounds that are within you. So your elders are coming in. There's some truths that are happening. You know, for example, maybe your aunt finds out that they were abused, and then your great-great-grandmother also, and then you've also experienced that. Maybe you find out that there was a miscarriage or an abortion in your family and no one talked about it, and now you're receiving that message through the soul of this being, of this past child that would have been here on the earth side. I know that's deep. Maybe you're also realizing that, you know, you received that person, that relationship, because you had a non-emotionally available father, non-emotionally available mother, non-emotionally available person or guardian in your life. No one was ever emotionally available. So again, your heart is where there are so many medicines. There is so much truth beyond you, and why your family has seen love the way it is and defined love the way it is, and why you've taken that on. So move beyond the ancestral patterns, tune into your ancestors. What are their relationships like? What was your definition of love in your surrounding as a child? And how maybe there's an archetype, 6 months, 2 years. Those are the 2 timelines that are going to help support you bring the truth into this lifetime right now, to help you create the community you actually want, create the abundance you actually want, and step into that space. Speaking of space, Druid. So we have hold space. This is a time to hold space for yourself. Again, like I said, retrograde doesn't end until May 15th. So this is a time for you to really hold space, or understand what holding space looks like, as opposed to holding space for a relationship on the basis of feeling like it's not a two-way street, right? And this is why this lunar eclipse in Scorpio is highlighting, are you being held in space, and what does holding space actually mean for your highest timeline right now? You know, and how do you hold space for yourself, and how does the other person hold space accountably, and how do you both hold space for one another that feels in harmonization, that feels balanced? And if not, this is where you have to, again, share your boundaries, cut the cord. And for those of you who've shared your boundaries and they're still not doing it, like, they're gonna keep on doing it, like, you gotta cut it. Cut that relationship. And last but not least, what part of yourself is scared of creating that space, to hold that space for yourself, to hold those needs that you've been told is too needy, or no one was able to provide that? You are now reclaiming that. And again, a lot of past things are coming up, including the patterns of your ancestors to help and support you. Soulmates. Oh my God, this was the bottom of the deck, guys. Okay, so look at relationships, specifically intimate relationship, platonic relationships, whatever relationships were really close to you. How are they bonded by wounds? The wound is dissolved now through these awakenings, and that's why these relationships don't feel so aligned. But I'm also celebrating the fact that this lunar eclipse is giving you permission, the next cycle, the next moon, to now step into the new life, to now create, for you to be more happy and, you know, really tune into that happiness that you've been seeking for a while. Last 2 cards before I end it. 3 cards. There was another one behind. Shield Maiden. Make plans to focus. So make plans to focus on what are your needs in relationships, including the relationship with yourself. Be graceful in movement of action. So again, be graceful after retrograde. This is a great time for you to really tune into what does it look like to be graceful as I step away from a relationship and grieve and let that death occur in my life. I can be graceful with it. It doesn't have to be like, okay, I need to stay in this chaos and this pain forever, right? The last one's Highest Priestess. Let me just say there's a lot of masculine cards here, which are telling me that you are being really held by masculine ancestors right now. High Priestess, so intend to create. This is a time for you to now say, how am I going to be committed moving forward after these cord cutting? I've done the cutting, okay? I've done energetically the cord cutting. Now, what am I going to do next after retrograde is done for me to do the action? Because let me tell you, it's going to feel like the walls are getting closer and closer and closer, and you're in the middle, and you're just going to have to make that decision, loves, okay? So I know that was a really deep Scorpio lunar eclipse. I know there's a lot here that feels a little overwhelming, but I do also want to stress that it's okay, because even though it feels super overwhelming with what you're moving and what is coming up, I also want to share that it's as much as what you're shedding, you're going to get that tenfold. Remember that you're getting that tenfold. So the more that going back to the evolution, like how are you stepping into understanding, you know, my life, my human life is here to experience lessons, to experience my own evolution of my soul. This is why you're here. You're having a human experience for evolution of your soul, to evolve your soul. So how am I preventing that evolution? By not deepening my relationship with myself and others. People always say, how do I go further in my shadow work, Shika? I always say, go deeper with what you have. That's what's going to bring you further. When you seek outside of that, that's where we think we're in a lack frequency. That's when we feel like that's when we're pausing essentially the evolution. So ask yourself, how can I go deeper with what I have with these relationships? How can I go deeper with what I have with the grief that it's coming up? How can I go deeper with my older child friend that I have, my childhood being, the last 2 years, that friend archetype, and understand that emotion more, right? It's about stepping into the heart. Again, there's a lot of water elements. This is a great time during this moon to do a detox bath. And if you get my lunar planner, I go over all of the things you need to know and what to do, going deeper into practices, rituals. Get yourself one. It's only $22. Go get it down below. So that's it for the card reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what hits. How are you feeling? I know that was really deep healing and a lot of things came up. So let me know down below. What are you guys feeling right now? How are we doing here? Are we feeling good? What's going on? Okay, great. Let me know. And also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bell so you don't miss a video. If you haven't seen the solar eclipse video, I highly suggest you watching them. They're going to be really supported for you because they are very connected. And again, get yourself a lunar planner. It's down below, okay? Down below, lunar planner. It gives you 12 months of working with the moon, and it gives you a survival package for the eclipse season. How great is that? Only $22. Lastly is my plant medicine retreats. If you've been wanting to go deeper into the evolution of your soul and come back to a deep remembering of your being through their masculine energy, ancestors, and activating the feminine energy within you, I highly suggest you apply to the retreats. Fill out the form and I will look at it and respond to you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Thank you for dedicating to this evolution. I will see you guys in the next video. Happy lunar eclipse in Scorpio full moon, and I will see you soon. Bye.